I know when you've been in Hollywood long enough.
You saw I recognized you. You saw I remembered you.
You remembered
instantly.
me. It was so good.
I wasn't like, hey, nice studio. Hi, nice to meet you. I went like, hey.
Oh, I know. That's the worst.
I didn't remember your name, but I remembered you. That's the honest
It's
truth.
Nikki, no chance, no back.
Nikki, no chance.
Never.
No.
Don't ask.
Okay. Right. No chances in like guys are never gonna get in there. No chance, don't ask. Yeah. Okay.
But not in a mean way.
Okay. No,
More when I was 12.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great to have you back.
When you were 12, you were
Well,
like
let's
fending
put
guys off since you were 12. Wow. That's. I believe it. It's just that's at some point you got to drop that and
It's
just
the magic
accept
of
love
Disney.
into your life.
Believe.
That's the message of the film. Like,
There
just
you
let
go.
love in.
Look, you
Nikki.
just did a segue for me.
I'm telling you, it's like King Stefan. Look what happens to him because he doesn't let love into his life. Don't go the same
But
route.
can I be honest?
Nikki, possibly, maybe.
If we're
No,
talking about love,
Yeah.
here's the sick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your character is my type.
Okay.
Because-
Okay, and I'll tell you. Oh, this
You
is
tell
good.
me why. No, you tell me.
Well, no, the thing is, and now in all seriousness, okay, he is really, what I tried to do was play a male archetype that is based, it's not just a bad guy, he's ambitious and he's driven. And, this is something that alpha male guys are. And lots of men really are like that. They like to, control their environments.
Right.
They want to be the king of their castle, literally. And unfortunately, in this case, what happens to a lot of men is they sort of forget that strength is really supposed to be protecting women, and you sort of go out there and you protect your daughters and your wives. But very often they get carried away with the power and all of that. And then, this is a classic case of, well, what would a man, they become so obsessed with their careers or their power that they forget about their families and their partners and lose the love in their lives.
And they do bad things too. You did bad things to Angelina's character, and I still wanted you two to end up together.
So did I, but Disney just didn't want that. I was like, listen, he could just spend some time with the child and then learn the error of his ways. But I think it makes it a better morality tale where you kind of see like love saves Angie from her pain and her anguish because she lets it. And Stefan is too far gone that he just won't. And it really resonated with me. I mean, any guy who's out there, you see so many stories of that, where families are falling apart. The guy's got $100 million, but he's like the worst father, the worst husband.
Right.
It's like, dude, what are you going to do? Like drown in your $100 million? Like, well.
Speaking of which, the last time you were in here was for Elysium.
Yes.
And even though you were talking about Matt Damon, you were talking about you are the ultimate, and I know people ask in interviews all the time about pranks, but I know in your case, you were talking about how you and Matt did it, that you said you teased us and you said that it was like the ultimate prank battle between you and Angelina on the set.
Yes.
So can you tell us about it now that you're back and now that we're talking about this movie?
I started it. And I took a real chance on the first day to like see if she would how she would respond. And everybody's like, don't do it, because it's Angelina. And it's like, she's gonna be upset, and don't upset her. And I was like, we'll just see what happens. And she turned to have like she's such a good sport and so down to earth and stuff. And no, but I would do stuff, it was a constant battle between different ways of kind of one-upping each other. So I did, one of the many that happened was, I have the scene where I am sitting down, romantically with her by the river.
Yes.
And so I started improvising as I do from time to time. And so she just had to go with it now because I was doing something and I heard a noise in the bush. And so I was like, I jumped up and I grabbed my knife and Angie's like, oh, well, the camera's still rolling. I better just let him do his thing. And I went back and I was like, shh, and I heard something. And then I like dove into the bush and I did this whole like mime of like, going behind, like fighting something. And I came out and I was like, I got him. And it was like the raven on the end of my knife, divulges. And the whole crew like all cracks up and I was like, he's been following you the whole time. And she just cracks up laughing because I was, it was just like that part of the prank was trying to do things on camera that were actually where she was forced to sort of play along until the moment of like sort of go like, is he now, like what's he doing? Yeah. So I was very chuffed with myself and I was like, okay, that's a cute one, and I got the whole crew laughing. And then next morning, I arrive on the set, 7 a.m., 6:30 in the morning. No, 6 or 6:30. It was always early call times. And I go into my trailer and there are these two huge ravens, real ones, because this was a stuffed animal that I'd hidden the animal there with my knife. in my trailer and sort of looking at me, and I filmed them on my phone, and they had like on my seat, and one did as I was filming. The raven was like, ah! And it was like, you know, all over, and I was just like, oh my god, jeez, you know, it was so intimidating. I couldn't go into the trailer. I was like looking around for somebody. There's nobody. I'm like, how did she get? Because we had wrapped. This is the part. You see, this was the battle. It was like we'd wrapped the night before at like 9 p.m. So she managed to get. She's powerful. So she just like presses buttons and calls and it happens, you know. And so somebody came in at 5:30 to like put ravens in my trailer, and this was like an ongoing thing, and it just sort of spiraled to much greater depths, but they will remain between her and I for all time, I think.
Next time you come in, you're going to
Yeah, maybe in a few years' time, I'll be like, okay, this is how I won, because I did win.
Thank you again for coming in.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
Come back again.